Hey, what's up guys? It's Dom from Hole Printing Inc. In today's exciting video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to price your embroidery jobs. If you haven't already, make sure to go take a look at the previous video I made about how to price your DTF printing jobs. Most of the nuggets and the actual value is going to be in that video, but I want to make a sequel to that video about embroidery specifically because it's a bit different, but most of the same principles apply. So this video is going to be way shorter. My name is Dom. I own Hole Printing Inc. I've been in the printing industry for years. I work with many big corporations and my only goal is to help you on your printing journey. So the number one thing you want to ask yourself, as the previous video, is do I want this client or do I need it? By want or need, I mean this. If you want this client, is that you can live without, right? John's Plumbing versus Amazon. This is the example I like to give. Is it a one-time client? Are they just using you for a specific job? And is it not like your regular clients, your VIP clients? Is it a client that's going to bring you repeat volume, right? A bigger company or even a smaller company, but that's going to keep coming back every single month, every single year, something of that nature. Is this client just price shopping, just asking for a quote without any intention of actually moving forward with you specifically? Does this client value quality or are they looking for the cheapest price possible? This will determine if the client falls within the regular price list or the VIP price list. Not every client gets your best pricing. The example I gave in the previous video with John versus Amazon, it's unfortunate, but John will not get the best pricing, right? Amazon will get it. There's 50 other companies bidding on the Amazon job specifically versus John's Plumbing, which there may be only one or two local print shops bidding on that job, for example. So in general, you want to have two price lists in your tracking system, whatever you use. We use Google Slide. We keep it very simple. You can use a Google Doc. You can use a piece of paper. It doesn't really matter where you keep that pricing info. Just make sure you have two different price lists. VIP and regular. If ever I'm looking down, I'm looking at my phone so we stay on track. So for smaller orders, you want to make sure you use the regular price list. Same thing for one-time clients or low volume. It's going to be higher per piece when it comes to your stitch count, which we'll get into a second. Your VIP price list for bulk orders, it's ongoing contracts and clients you want to keep long-term. Lower per piece, but higher total volume and sales. This leads us into an important point also, setup versus non-setup. Again, going through the pipeline, do I want or do I need this client? Is it regular or VIP pricing? Is there a setup or is there no setup fee? In most cases, your VIP clients, there's not going to be a setup fee, but for your regular clients, there is. And this in my previous video, I explained why it's so important. For your regular clients, you want to charge a setup fee, whatever is most appropriate for your business and your overhead, because they're going to be committed to staying with you long term and invest into your brand and invest into them staying with you consistently throughout the years. That's the goal, at least. So embroidery requires digitizing. Did you digitize this yourself? Do you send it to an outsourcer? Either or is okay, but you don't want to use anybody else's files in most cases. Even if they do have the DST, I would say, look, the setup is the setup. Whether you have a DST or not, we take pride in providing the best quality work possible. We have expensive embroidery machines, and if we put regular gasoline in embroidery machines, it won't perform to the best of its ability. And we take no responsibility for the products it can produce with your DST specific. If you choose our services and our DST, we can make sure that we're putting premium gasoline in our embroidery machines, allowing us to give you a consistent professional result. You don't want to use other people's gas for your equipment. Use your own gas and keep it internal. So there's a one-time digitizing fee, and you want to waive this fee whenever it's a bigger order, your VIP clients. You can either set up as a own separate fee in your estimate, or you can break it down per piece, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Never pretend like this is free. Even if it's just your time, it's time. But in most cases, you might be spending money also and your time. Make sure you charge for it. And also make sure you make a margin on it. Charge it as a setup, right? As an experience, as a commitment, not just like a fee. Let's talk about the add-ons. Going through the pipeline one more time. Do I want or need this client? Let's say I want it, I don't need it. Is it regular or VIP pricing? It's regular in this example. Do I charge a setup or don't I? I charge a setup in this example. Is there add-ons or no add-ons? There's add-ons in this example. Examples of add-ons is the following. In most cases, you could charge more for safety apparel. You could charge more for beanies, for polos, for hoodies. For t-shirts, I would not add an add-on, to give you context. On the items in which you think you can sell for more, why leave money on the table? It's your time, it's your business. Nobody's going to tell you how to run it, but these are my tips. Examples of this again, safety apparel, you can add margins on the garments. For puffy foam embroidery, you should charge extra. For metallic thread or any safety apparel thread, right? Fire resistant thread, obviously it costs you more, so you should charge more. And a very important fee that most of us overlook in the printing industry, and I fell victim to this recently, just yesterday or 2 days ago, I closed an order because I know this client specifically and I wanted to provide them with a good service. They wanted it literally today. They're picking it up tomorrow, right? So I rushed for nothing in some sense, but they wanted it as soon as possible. Usually it would have been almost $100 extra for that order. And it was a very low quantity order. Usually I have a 6-piece minimum. They ordered 5 and they wanted it yesterday. I did not respect my own pricing. Charging a rush fee can be very hard, especially when you know the client specifically and they've been supporting you for years, but I swear by it. It's one of the most important things you can do for your sanity, to respect your new clients and even your existing clients, that you treat everyone equal. It's not fair that one person pays the rush fee and somebody doesn't. So make sure you stay strict with that pricing. And I'm a bit talking to myself here in this example. Rush fee is a very good way you can add extra money to your business. If it costs you more time or it's more complex, make sure you charge accordingly as well. Simple rule: more risk, more time, more money. So here's the actual breakdown on how you charge. You want to make sure that you charge per stitch count, machine time, your labor, your overhead, and overall your profit goal. So you take your stitch count, you take the machine time, how much time it's actually going to be embroidering on the machine, the labor if you're paying employees or yourself, and your overhead costs, so electricity, stuff like that, the DST, everything else that costs you on a weekly, daily basis to run your shop, and your general profit. Let's say you want to make $50 an hour, make sure you reduce all of the cost of the materials, everything, and you're making at least $50 an hour to break even, and hopefully a bit more so you can break a profit. You can't just copy somebody else's stitch count price. All embroidery jobs are often on stitch count, and it's a good method, but you can't just copy mine. You can't just copy your competitors or your suppliers. It doesn't work like that. You have to actually break it down, figure out how much it's costing you to run your shop, do a bunch of calculations, and find out how much you want to be charging per stitch count. This is very important. You want to back engineer your stitch price. So step 1, figure out how much you want to make per hour. Again, figuring out how much it's actually costing you per hour. Let's say you're working 200 hours a month in your printing business. You want to see how much it's costing you per month to keep the lights open. Literally the lights, the machines, the utilities, the overhead, the insurance, the rent, etc. Labor, payroll, all that good stuff. Figure out how much it's costing you before you print a single item, and that's your burn rate. That's how much it's costing you to stay in business. You want to at least make a little bit more than that so you can account for anything else going wrong, and you can actually start making a profit. Most of us are actually operating underneath our burn rate, and the way we're actually still in business is that we find other ways, or some clients are paying more. It's very inconsistent. Make sure you back engineer so you can figure out how much profit you're actually making. So let's say you need to make $50 an hour. How many stitches does your machine run per hour, right? Or RPM, how many stitches per minute? 800, 1,000, it doesn't matter. Figure out how much it's actually taking time to embroider that many stitches. From there, if your machine runs 800 stitches per minute, that's 48,000 stitches per hour in theory. Now you divide, let's say $50 by 48,000 stitches, and that gives you your base stitch rate. That's how you build your stitch pricing properly, for lack of better words. Your quantity matters also. Lower quantity equals higher price per piece. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say somebody orders 6 beanies. It's the same amount of effort to set up a 6 beanie job than a 2,000 beanie job. The only difference is that they're paying less per unit for the 2,000 beanie job, but it's the same setup time. Once you get in the flow of things, you'd rather do 2,000 beanies with the same logo, very simple, than only 6. You need to charge that setup time, threading the machine, making sure everything is set up properly, hooping the beanies, you get the idea. Your hoop time, your setup time, your thread changes, your handling, everything that is not just the machine stitching also needs to be accounted for. And you break it down, right? You reverse engineer all that time, you figure out how much time it takes you to do 6 beanies, and you add that in your stitch count, right? So let's say, to give you a simple example, let's say 9 to 12,000 stitches for 6 beanies. Let's say you charge $15, just to give you an idea, plus the cost of the beanie. That would be your stitch count price, $15 per 9,000 stitches for 1 to 6 pieces. I'm just giving you a rough idea, but you need to back engineer it. I just can't give you my stitch count pricing. You need to figure it out for yourself. Track your KPIs, your key performance indicators. This is what's going to give you the hidden nugget in this video to figure out how much you should be charging per stitch count. Track the time it takes you to hoop a beanie, to hoop a hoodie, to hoop a safety jacket, the time on the machine per job on average, the total order time, how many errors, if you did testing, right? If you tested the DST to make sure it embroidered okay, if you had to rerun a certain item, if you lost materials, let's say you scrapped a hoodie, all of this needs to be accounted for. If you don't track, you're guessing and you really won't have accurate pricing that's going to allow you to scale your business. Your stitch pricing only works if your time estimates are real. So by tracking your time on a daily basis, you'll have more information in which you can adjust your pricing accordingly. Final thing I can let you know, and again, refer to the other video on DTF pricing. I really go in depth. This is just an add-on video, but you want to test every single order by tracking your time. From there, you'll be able to reverse engineer everything else. For a while, test every job. Ask, did I hit my hourly target? Let's say you calculated when you sent out the estimate, oh, this is going to take me 3 hours, but it took you 9 hours. Really sit down and figure out, why did it take you so much time? Was the client picky? Was there something going on internally? Figure out why. Figure out if it's an anomaly, right? Like it's not going to happen again, or if it's something that might happen again in the future, and account for that time that's missing. Why did this take longer? Why was it shorter, right? Let's say you say, oh, it's going to take me 6 hours. It only took me 3 hours. You made more profit, which is good, but can you make this consistently across all of the orders? Was my stitch rate correct, right? Let's say you calculated, oh, I'll be doing 6 beanies per hour and you're only doing 3. You need to maybe go back to the drawing board and engineer your stitch count per minute. Do this until your pricing list becomes unbeatable. You can't physically charge less or more. You're in that Goldilocks zone where all clients almost always say yes and you're making profit, right? You're not charging too much or too little. This is the Goldilocks zone and we all strive to hit that zone. It comes from testing, guys. I wish I could give you the answer. I spent days and days, months on months trying to figure out that perfect pricing. We've done it, but it took us a lot of time and a lot of calculations. It's not just a YouTube video you can watch and have all the answers. If you do want my pricing template, which covers not only DTF but embroidery as well, send me an email and I'll send you how much this price list will cost you for the template. There will be no numbers, but you'll be able to input your numbers easily, so you don't have to build a complicated template. You'll have our specific professional template, which you can follow like a Jenga and kind of see how much you price for your invoices and your estimates. If that's something you're interested in, send me an email and I'll be happy to send you the pricing for this template. And if it makes sense, I can send you over the template in a quick video on how to download it. So here's my final message, guys. Embroidery pricing is not charged $1 per 1,000 stitch. If it was like that, most businesses would not be in business. The stitch count is the tool. Your hourly target is the strategy. If you can find out your hourly target and you can reverse engineer that into your stitch count, you have an unbeatable price list for your business. And if you want deeper breakdowns, make sure you go check out my DTF video. I spent 45 minutes explaining to you in depth how to charge DTF printing jobs, and most of the nuggets are in that video, so I won't be repeating myself. I just wanted to touch about stitch counts. Before I end off this video, here's the main nuggets. Make sure that whatever your stitch count is, it's appropriate for your time per hour and all the extra stuff that the client doesn't see, like the emails, the designing, the DST, the testing of the DST, the rework of the DST, the hooping, the thread breaks, the bobbin changes, all of the other things that you don't account for. It needs to be in your stitch count pricing so you can actually scale your business with confidence. Focus on better margins, better profit for your business. Stop just focusing on sales and revenue. This is the biggest piece of advice I can give you for your business. If you enjoyed this video, as always, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. This was Dom from Whole Printing Inc. Make a print. You'll never forget.